Good morning, students. Today we'll see about the cell organelles. What are cell organelles? An cell organelle is a subcellular structure that has one or more specific jobs to perform in the cell. So, a organelle which is present inside the cell. There are lots of organelles present here. For example, endoplasmic reticulum, mitochondria, Golgi complex. All these are organelles present in the cell. What do? They do the specific jobs in the cell. They perform the specific jobs like an organ which does in our body. So, we have in the cell, we have different organelles. Now, for example, as a human being, if you see, we have eyes, isn't it? What do the eyes do? They help in seeing. We have kidney, we have heart, isn't it? So like that wise, in the cell we have got mitochondria which helps in producing energy, vacuole which stores food, and if you see nucleus, it is the headquarter of the cell. So let's move on to the first organelle, that is endoplasmic reticulum. Now, when we talk about endoplasmic reticulum, it is single membrane cell organelle, which is a single membrane cell organelle, and it is made up of tubes and sheets. So if you see the endoplasmic reticulum, it is like a network, isn't it? So it is a network of membrane. And in the endoplasmic reticulum, it consists of two types, that is smooth endoplasmic reticulum and rough endoplasmic reticulum. Why they are called smooth endoplasmic reticulum? Because they do not have ribosomes, whereas in the rough endoplasmic reticulum, they consist of ribosomes, and these ribosomes, you can see here, see these are the dots, they are ribosomes, and these ribosomes are called protein factories of the body because they help in synthesis of protein. And if you see the smooth endoplasmic reticulum, it helps in lipid synthesis. So rough endoplasmic reticulum, protein synthesis, and smooth endoplasmic reticulum, lipid synthesis. Now in the previous videos you have seen somewhere the lipid and protein, isn't it? That is lipoprotein. So it is in cell membrane. So endoplasmic makes the cell membrane. So cell membrane is made up of lipoproteins. Now if you see the characteristics, continuous with plasma membrane on outside, okay, on outside it is continuous with the plasma membrane, and nuclear membrane on inside. That means it is attached to the plasma membrane as well as nucleus. And if you see the endoplasmic reticulum, it gives shape to the cell, helps in intracellular transport. It helps in intracellular transport, and it is termed as framework of cell, providing surface for biochemical activities. The biochemical word, you know, it is nothing but the chemical reaction. So this endoplasmic reticulum will help in chemical reaction to take place the chemical reactions in the cell. So two types of endoplasmic reticulum, smooth and rough. Smooth where they do not have ribosomes, whereas in rough have ribosomes, therefore it is called rough endoplasmic reticulum. Now what are the functions of endoplasmic reticulum? It helps in membrane biogenesis. What is the meaning of genesis? It is nothing but production. So the biogenesis, membrane biogenesis, is the production of membrane. This endoplasmic reticulum helps in the production of membrane. SCR plays a role in the detoxifying many poisons and drugs in vertebrate liver cells. Vertebrate is we as a human beings and some of the animals. So in the liver cell, this smooth endoplasmic reticulum will help to detoxify the many poisons and drugs. Next, we'll move on to the other organelle, Golgi apparatus. Now, this Golgi apparatus was discovered by Camillo Golgi in 1898. Now, in the cell, the Golgi apparatus is like a magic box because it modifies the substances. This Golgi apparatus modifies the substances. For example, if you put something over here, it comes from here. So that is, therefore it is called modification center. So Golgi apparatus is a single membrane bound cell organelle which is made up of sac like structure as cistern, called as cistern. If you see, these are the sac like structures and they are called cisternae. Now what are the characteristics? Cisternae are filled with various enzymes. These cisternae are filled with various enzymes, and this Golgi apparatus has two phases, that is cis phase and trans phase. This is the cis phase and this is the trans phase. If you see here, this is cis phase and the trans phase. Now in the cis phase, or it is called receiving phase, because where you put the substances, that is cis phase, and the trans phase where it comes out, it is like a output or supplying phase. Now what are the functions of this? First of all, it helps in storage, it modifies packaging and transport of materials. So four main functions are storage, modification, packaging and transport of materials. It also helps in synthesis of complex sugars from simple sugars. If you see in the digestive system, you know the complex food is broken down into simple molecules, isn't it? But here this Golgi apparatus which helps in synthesis of complex sugars from simple sugars. That is, for example, from glucose it converts into starch. Glucose is the simple sugar, whereas starch is a complex. So it helps in synthesis of complex sugars from simple sugars. And finally, it helps in the synthesis of lysosomes. Lysosomes are also cell organelles. Even this helps in production of acrosome. Acrosome is present in the male sperms. Not only synthesis of lysosomes, it also helps in acrosome. Acrosome is present in male sperm. Next we'll go for lysosomes. Now what is lysosomes? It is a membrane bound cell organelle which contains digestive enzymes. This lysosome contains digestive enzymes, and this lysosome also called as suicide bags of the cell. Now why this lysosome is called suicide bags of the cell, I'll tell you little later. Now if you see the inside the lysosome, we have the hydrolytic enzyme. Hydrolytic enzyme. Now what these enzymes do? These hydrolytic enzymes attack and kill the foreign substances, or maybe the lysosomes, they attack and kill the foreign substances. Think, for example, mitochondria is not working well. So what do the lysosomes do? They will go and digest it. Lysosomes will go and digest it. For example, the cell is damaged and it cannot be repaired. Cell is damaged and it cannot be repaired. So lysosomes, they burst inside the cell and kill the cell itself. Okay, if the cell is damaged and cannot repair, lysosomes will burst inside the cell and kill the cell itself. That is why the lysosomes are called suicide bags of the cell, because they kill the cell itself and they burst out inside the cell. So they are called suicide bags of the cell. So today we have learnt the three cell organelles, that is the endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, lysosomes.